I know it may be simple, but don't you dare sleep on a homemade coffee cake. Mine is buttery, tender, and when paired up with coffee, my idea of the perfect breakfast. Let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into this by making that filling. Sound good? Let's bake.
I'm going to add 1 cup of packed light brown sugar to a medium-sized bowl. Next, we're going to add in a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, followed up with 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Now, grab a whisk or a fork, and what we want to do is mix this until completely combined, and in addition, break up any large chunks. Sometimes you just need to get in there with your hands to break everything up to make sure it's nice and smooth, so there are no big brown sugar or flour chunks. Set it to the side. Now let's make our streusel. I've got 1 stick of cold unsalted butter in a separate medium-sized bowl. We are going to add in 1 1/4 cups of packed light brown sugar, 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and then using a pastry knife, which is what I like to use. You could also use a fork, or in fact, you could actually throw all this in a food processor if you'd like. I like to do it by hand though. What we're looking to do is cut in the butter into the rest of the mixture and of course combine it until it is all mixed together. Now there will be some bigger chunks in there, and just like with that middle layer filling, I like to just break it up with my hands. You can have some small pieces and some big pieces, but we don't want overly large chunks of butter. Let's go ahead and set this to the side.
All right, really quickly, just in case you want to change up that streusel we just made, I have a few variations for you. What you want to do is back off a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour and a 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You can replace it with a few different things, starting with 3/4 cup of rolled oats. So we have a nice oatmeal streusel now, or 3/4 cups of nuts like pecans or walnuts. Boom, you have a pecan streusel. Both are awesome and just nice little tweaks if you want to do that. Okay, here's what we do next.
In a stand mixer or using some hand electric beaters, we are going to add in 2 sticks of unsalted softened butter. Make sure it's softened. We're going to fix the paddle attachment, and we're just going to put it on medium speed and let it whip until it's nice and light and fluffy. This is good timing because we're going to mix some dry ingredients together, starting with 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. The next thing we are going to do is add in 2 teaspoons of baking powder, followed up with 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and then grab your handy whisk and mix this together until it is completely combined, and then just simply set it to the side. Let's go have a look at our butter. It's nice, it's light, it's fluffy. This takes about 5 minutes total. If you're using hard cold butter, it may take you up to 15 minutes to get to this stage. So what we're going to do is turn the speed down to low and add in 1 1/4 cups of sugar. The reason I turn the speed down to low is so that the sugar doesn't fly out everywhere. And then we're going to turn it on to medium-high speed. Cream everything in there. This looks fantastic. At this point, we're going to mix in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Once it is mixed in, I have 5 large cold eggs straight from the refrigerator. We want to add these in there one at a time until they are completely mixed in before adding the next one in there.
One quick option for you at this stage. If you wanted to make this a lemon coffee cake, what you would do is add in the juice of 1 lemon and the zest of 1 lemon following the eggs that we just mixed in there. Just another little variation for you. Okay, here's what we do now.
At this stage, what we need to do is what I like to call stopping and scraping. You have to often do this when mixing things in a stand mixer to make sure all of the ingredients are completely mixed in. So stop, give it a scrape all around the bowl to incorporate the butter, the sugar, the eggs, and the vanilla extract. Now, once it is rolling again, we're going to turn the speed back down to low. What we want to do at this stage is add in half of the dry ingredients. That's the flour, baking powder, and salt mixture we whisked together. Once it is in there, we want to combine it until just mixed. This is perfect. Now, grab 1 1/2 cups of cold whole milk. You could use 2%, I suppose, if you'd like. We're going to slowly add this in there until it is just mixed in. Oop, made a little mess there. Got to clean that up. Once it is mixed together, let's go grab the remaining dry ingredients, add it in there. And again, at this stage, what I like to do is stop and scrape it. Sometimes there's flour remnants on the paddle and parts of the KitchenAid. So Stop it, give everything a good scrape, again, to just incorporate all the ingredients that may be missing on the bottom of the bowl. Mix it for maybe just another 20 to 30 seconds. At this point, just take the paddle attachment off there, give it a few knocks, and we're just going to set this to the side. Now we're going to take out our 13 by 9 casserole dish. This one's a little deeper than maybe a traditional dish. A regular dish will be fine. Be sure to spray this with some non-stick spray. Now, grab your batter that we just made. What we want to do is only add half of the batter right into this casserole dish. Now, using that rubber spatula, spoon, or an offset spatula, whatever you have, we want to smooth it out and make it flat as possible, completely covering the bottom of it. Now grab that filling, which is the brown sugar flour and cinnamon, and we're going to generously sprinkle it all over the place. What I like to do, though, is just get in there and smooth it out a little bit with my hands and flatten everything out so that it cooks nice and evenly and that it's perfect. Now grab the other part of our batter, the remaining half that's left over, pour it all over the top. And then again, just like that first layer, what we want to do is gently spread it all over the top of that brown sugar, flour, and cinnamon mixture. Now this can be tricky because it doesn't want to actually stick to that brown sugar layer filling sometimes. So just be very gentle with it. Take your time. And honestly, sometimes I switch out the spatula for a spoon to do that. Just seems to work a little bit better. Once it is completely covered, if you'd like, you can give a little wipe down around the edges just to clean it up a little bit. We're going to grab our delicious streusel. To me, this is the best part of this coffee cake. And generously sprinkle it all over the top, making it very, very even. And much like that middle layer, what I like to do is give it a little pat down, flatten everything out so that it bakes perfectly evenly.
Okay, so I'm in a variation giving mood. I know fruit coffee cake is incredibly popular. So after you lay down that middle brown sugar, cinnamon, and flour layer, you're going to add on a half cup of whatever fruit you want and spread it around. Maybe it's blueberries, maybe it's chopped apples, whatever you'd like. And after that top layer of streusel, we're going to add another half cup of fruit. Maybe it's blackberries or raspberries. You pick, make this work for you. Okay, let's get this in the oven.
We are going in at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to take in between 50 and 55 minutes for this to completely cook, or until you insert a toothpick and it comes out clean in the center. After that amount of time, we're just going to let it set on a rack for about 45 minutes. Doesn't need to completely cool because coffee cake is very delicious when slightly warm.
It doesn't matter what you're cooking or baking. It is always about these fundamental techniques and putting them into practice over and over again to help elevate your everyday cooking. I mean, we just made a homemade coffee cake from scratch. Why would you get it from anywhere else? Why get it from the store? This is better, guaranteed. You will love this. Now, I'm going to take an extra large slice out of this and try it out. Here we go.
We are going to take a nice big slice out of this, and I'm telling you, it is buttery, it is tender, it is delicious. I can't think of a better way to spend breakfast with this and a big cup of coffee. Let's definitely get in this.